Hello and welcome to Rise and Unwind. You know, each and every week we talk to people from across the country about things you can do in your neighborhood. And on this week's show, we got this.
And then you can have some pretty awful symptoms, things like severe pain in the flank, often described as the worst pain in the world.
Let's just have Elvis come to you in a dream and tell you his story really unrestricted.
I can't watch it back because it was a very kind of hard moment for me.
All of that and more right here on Rise and Unwind.
So what happens when law enforcement uncovers a plot bigger than anyone ever imagined? Well, that's the premise of Countdown, Prime Video's edge of your seat action series. Two of the stars join us today. That's Elliot and Latukefu, who are here to give us a behind-the-scenes look towards the explosive finale. Welcome, Elliot and Uli. How are you two?
Hey, thank you, good. Good, man. Good. How are you?
I've been doing okay. I've been checking out the show, and it moves fast, and it keeps viewers hooked. What was it about Countdown that made you both want to be part of it?
I'll go first. A combination of things. There was, one, an opportunity to work in this genre, to being able to work in Los Angeles, which is great, and three, we'd just come off the back of a strike, so every bit helps.
Yeah, exactly. And also, to work with Derek Haas, he has such an amazing track record of the shows that he's made. And there is a really beautiful element of this show that's like, honoring those classic, fun action movies and that whole genre. To do that in TV in sort of a new age and for a new audience is really an honor. And that's been a lot of fun too.
Elliot, your character is caught up in this secret task force. How did you prepare for that role and the intensity that it brings?
I think focusing on the stakes, what the real world stakes would be with what the task force are focused on. This is a deadly threat to the city of Los Angeles that could wipe it off of the map. It's something that should be unbelievable, but there are people in real life who have to consider those consequences. And so I think making sure that as the character, he's focused on making sure that does not happen, but also there is fun to be had, and you still have to be a person to do that job. It can't be dire all the time. So finding that balance of dire stakes, but also explosive fun as you go along has really made for an incredible ride, and hopefully one that translates on screen for everyone to enjoy as well.
Uli, you've had such a wide range of roles from Young Rock to Black Adam. What stands out about your experience on Countdown?
Oh, man, we had so much fun making this show, and especially given the genre, it's things can get a little intense, on the show. But it didn't feel like that at all for this, and working with this team has been amazing. Being able to work in LA, I live in LA now, and it really has been a dream come true. I'm sure Elliot will echo the same sentiment. In terms of, I've never been in a cop show like this, an American cop show, which was always fun. It's always kind of been on my bucket list to tick off, and hopefully we can continue to do that for years to come, because we've had a ball making it, and I think the show's great.
And the cast, it includes some big names like Jensen, Ackles, and Dane. What's it been like collaborating with them on set?
Jensen's amazing and a great leader for our team. He brings not just such skill to the role, and he really is Mark Meacham in so many ways, which is so fun to watch him play out, but also he's led the fun and the camaraderie that we have on set. He's made sure that we all know how lucky and grateful we are to be doing this, and to make sure we enjoy every moment. And honestly, even like Eric, he has a much more somber role in the show, but he brings his own personality and element of fun to work as well. And it really adds to the joy we get from doing this job. And then I think the product on screen is clear. This is a group of very, very talented people, and especially the big stars amongst that too. It's amazing to get to share in that with them.
Yeah, agreed.
Hey, I want to thank you two for hanging out with me today. Catch episodes of Countdown every Wednesday, only on Prime Video. And I want to thank you two for joining me today.
Appreciate it, brother.
Thank you so much.
Do you ever wonder how much planning and pressure and storytelling goes into what happens inside a WWE ring? Season 2 of WWE Unreal pulls back the curtains even more, taking fans behind the scenes on the road to SummerSlam. Joining us today is Lyra Valkyrie, one of the superstars featured this season, giving fans a closer look at what it really takes to bring those moments alive. Welcome to the show, Lyra. How are you?
Thank you. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing okay. Season 2, it's diving deeper into the writer's room and the build towards SummerSlam. When you watched it back, what surprised you most about seeing that process on screen?
I can't watch it back because it was a very kind of hard moment for me that got captured on Unreal. So it's very strange that the whole world is seeing it, but this is what people want to see. So there you go.
Oh, okay. Fans usually see the finished performance. What does WWE Unreal reveal about the preparation and collaboration that people may not realize happens before a match?
I think it definitely reveals the pressure and the chaos that goes on behind the scenes because it's live TV, so everything obviously looks great. And we just pop up and look our best on Raw and SmackDown. But I think it's showing a very kind of gritty, real side of the people on the show and what we go through every single week. So I guess that's really cool that people get to see that and just understand the chaos behind it all.
And this season features so many big personalities and storylines. As a superstar, what's it like balancing your own journey while everything else around you is constantly evolving?
Oh, it's like hard. That's one of the struggles, is like trying to keep your whole life together while performing at your best. So it's definitely hard, and I think Unreal really showcases that what it is we go through. So yeah, it can be tough, but it's also like the most rewarding thing in the world, and it's so addictive, and the adrenaline you can't even describe it. I don't know if any other job or like sport or anything, I don't know if anything is comparable to what we do. So it's cool that like people get to understand that a little bit more watching the show.
And the show, it captures a lot of high pressure moments. How do you personally stay grounded when the stakes are that high pretty much week after week?
I think as like my way of staying grounded is as long as I know that I'm putting the work in behind the scenes, that I'm doing everything I possibly can. That's when I know, like, okay, I'm gonna do my best here. And if I don't, then like what can I do? That's just where I'm at. Like I have to, if I'm doing the work behind the scenes, then I'm gonna be proud of what I'm doing.
And for longtime WWE fans and for people who may be new to this world, what do you think they'll appreciate most about season 2 of WWE Unreal?
I think people will appreciate the fact that this is the first time ever that this show is pulling back the curtain so much. It's something that's been protected for years. And there's still people that, like, I'm one of them, that I'm not sure how much we like that, but there's a big demand for it. So I think people who have wanted that, like lifelong fans who have wanted to see what it's like behind the scenes, I think that's what, like, this is their chance to actually get to see that.
All right, I want to thank you for joining me today. WWE Unreal Season 2 is streaming now on Netflix, taking fans behind the scenes all the way to SummerSlam. Lyra, thanks for joining me today.
No, thank you for having me.
WrestleMania is already one of the biggest events in sports entertainment, and this year it's turning into an entire week-long takeover in Las Vegas. From SmackDown to Raw to the massive two-night WrestleMania at Allegiant Stadium, fans are getting more action than ever. So joining us now is WWE superstar Liv Morgan, champion, rule breaker, and one of the most dangerous competitors in the game. Welcome to the show, Liv. How are you?
Oh, thank you. I love that introduction. Thank you. I'm doing well. I woke up the greatest Royal Rumble winner of all time, so I have no complaints,
All right. Congratulations to you. You've been kicking butt, both literally and figuratively. WrestleMania 42 just got even bigger with SmackDown and Raw added to the week. What does it mean to be part of like an entire WrestleMania week instead of just one night?
Yeah, so WrestleMania week is always chaotic in the best way. We have Friday Night SmackDown, as you said, Monday Night Raw. We have the WWE Hall of Fame ceremony where Stephanie McMahon's going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. So iconic. And then we have our 2-day spectacle of WrestleMania. It is a very busy week, but it is so worth it. There is so much connection with the WWE universe. So many opportunities to run into your favorite WWE superstar and get an autograph and get a photo. giving back to the WWE Universe and the community of Las Vegas for so graciously hosting us in our second year of WrestleMania there. You know, last year we had our most successful WrestleMania of all time in Las Vegas as far as attendance and viewership. And so we are excited to run it back and do it bigger and better than ever.
You've had some massive moments in your career. Money in the Bank, championship wins, the Revenge Tour. When you look at this year's WrestleMania season, where does that rank for you personally?
Ooh, well, you know, I think for me, it might end up ranking as number one because after 11 years of hard work and dedication, I finally certified myself a spot in the WrestleMania event. Which day, I don't know, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to walk out a champion. And so I'm super excited.
Okay, and Backlash is coming up in Tampa in May, and it's the first premium live event after WrestleMania. How does the energy shift after WrestleMania, and why should fans expect fireworks at Backlash?
Yeah, so WrestleMania to me kind of signifies like the start of the wrestling new year. You know, we work all year to lead into WrestleMania, to tell these stories and have these matches at WrestleMania. And once it's done, it kind of feels like a reset. So Backlash being the first PLE in the wrestling new year, as far as I'm concerned, in Tampa, where I'm currently from. So I kind of feel like the hometown hero walking in, a brand new champion. So you can expect excitement, chaos, and I'm known to be a little bit messy. So you can expect a mess.
All right, some fans love you, some fans love to hate you. Either way, they're watching, but how do you channel that reaction when you step into the ring?
Kind of exactly what you said. You know, they either love to hate me or hate to love me, and I welcome and appreciate it all because I don't really care what you think about me, respectfully. You know, it is what it is, and I'm going to do the same thing that I do regardless. But I appreciate the noise. Everything that we do is for the audience and for their energy. So whether they're cheering or booing me, I appreciate it nonetheless.
Maybe you should challenge some of them to the ring themselves.
They can't handle me. Are you kidding me?
All right, for anyone who's never experienced a WWE live event in person, what's different about being inside that arena compared to like just watching it at home?
Yeah, so, you know, watching at home, you get all the camera angles, you get the commentary on your TV. It's a very much more intimate, controlled experience. But live, you have the energy of the hundreds of thousands of people that got a ticket with you that are cheering or booing their favorite WWE superstars. It is such a mix of athleticism, sport, entertainment, blended in a way that only WWE can provide. So you are definitely in for a treat because WWE is for everyone and we want everyone to be entertained. So you bring your mom, your uncle, your cousins, your dog. I don't think dogs are allowed in the venue, so you can't bring your dog, but your dog can sit and enjoy at home if you don't come to the show. But I'd recommend coming to the show.
I've also heard that you're becoming a movie star and have a project on the way.
I have something on the way. Bad Lieutenant, I filmed in Japan last year. It's going to hit theaters in September. I was very excited about the project. I learned a lot, and I feel better after the fact, having the experience. I was lucky to be in the room with all of these incredibly talented veterans of the film industry. And the WWE audience is going to see me in a way that I think perhaps they never thought they'd see me. So I would tune in.
Liv Morgan, I want to thank you for joining me today. WrestleMania 42 takes over Las Vegas April 18th and 19th at Allegiant Stadium, with SmackDown on April 17th and Raw on April 20th at the T-Mobile Arena. And WWE Backlash heads to Tampa on May 9th. You can get your tickets and full event details at WWE.com. Liv, I want to thank you for hanging out with me today.
Thank you. Have a good day. And don't forget to watch me. Future champion over here, okay?
What if you could experience Elvis in a way you've never seen or heard before? A new cinematic event from director Baz Luhrmann brings rare footage, restored performances, and unheard recordings together in something that's not quite a documentary and not just a concert film. It's called Epic, Elvis Presley in Concert. Baz Luhrmann joins us now to talk about his new big screen experience. Baz, welcome to the show, my friend. How are you?
I'm good, Dan, and I love the way you described it as a cinematic event because people are having trouble to sort of say what it is. that's what it is. This weekend, 1,900 screens all over the US. Get out and have a cinematic event, because that's what we tried to do. That's what Elvis is.
And during the making of Elvis, you went searching for rumored lost concert footage,
Yeah.
and actually found dozens of boxes that hadn't been seen in decades. What did that discovery like for you?
Oh my God! Literally, we thought we found a reel, and we went down to these salt mines in Kansas City, where they stored negative. Bang! There's 65 boxes and 1635, some 8mm. And Peter Jackson helps us bring it back to us to a level of quality. I mean, just get to the biggest screen you can in your town. It's in every town this weekend. Just get out there and see it, because it is actually, I've seen it enough now. People like applaud during it. They dance during it. This is a movie you can really bother the other patrons, you know, bother them with your noise and your energy, because that's what it's for.
And this isn't simply a restored concert film. You described it as almost a cinematic poem. How did you approach shaping Elvis's life story through this dreamlike concert experience?
Well, when I was working with my creative partner in this, John O'Redman, we found this one box, and in it, Elvis is just recorded, unguarded, telling you about his life story. And we said, no talking heads in this. Let's just have Elvis come to you in a dream and tell you his story really unrestricted. And music and sing-along and concert moments. And he rocks out in it. Now sonically, it's in 5/1. Everyone just says it sounds like it was recorded today, you know? And the audiences are reacting like that. This is the concert, the world tour that Elvis never actually had. He dreamed of having one. He never got outside the US. As we're speaking, he's in 5,000 screens all around the world right now.
And for audiences who think they already kind of know Elvis or absolutely loved your film from 2022, what makes Epic a completely different experience on the big screen?
I go on YouTube and just see what fans are saying. They'll tell you. They're going like, I thought I knew him, and now, but it's his humor. He's so goofy. He's so disarming. And then just you see him creating the music. Like you see him take a song like Bridge Over Troubled Water, Simon and Garfunkel, and turn it into this like gospel powerhouse song. And you know, he's so unpredictable. And I think people are, even hardcore fans are going like, one guy said, he said it beautifully. He said, you know, this is the film that Elvis always dreamed of making, but 50 years after his death, he's finally in it.
Baz, I want to thank you for joining me today. Epic Elvis Presley in Concert is in theaters now. You can find showtimes and tickets at your local theater and experience Elvis like never before. Baz, it's been a pleasure to have you on here, my friend.
Yes, my man. You're cool.
Some stories don't fade with time, especially when they involve trust, friendship, and betrayal. The new 3-part Hulu docuseries, Friends Like These, The Murder of Skyler Neese, revisits the 2012 disappearance of a West Virginia teenager and the shocking truth that followed. It's a story told through social media, personal interviews, and voices closest to the case. So joining us this morning are director Claire Titley and former FBI agent and polygraph examiner Dr. Rob Ambrosini. Thank you two for being here. How are you?
Thank you. Good. Thank you.
All right, Claire, what stood out to you about this case and what made you feel like it needed to be revisited now, more than a decade later?
I think one of the things that made me that was so kind of shocking about this case when I first kind of looked at it was the fact that it's 2012 and it's quite a unique era in a way for social media, because it was that era where social media was new. It was kind of a new frontier. It was the kind of Wild West though as well. And teenagers were experimenting with it. They were just putting their entire lives online. They didn't have the hindsight that we have now about kind of, you know, what could possibly go wrong. But also it was an era where adults weren't really looking at social media. So nobody was kind of checking up on them. There were no sort of checks and balances. And that makes that generation of teenagers at that kind of time particularly unique. They're almost like the guinea pigs of social media.
And the series used Skyler's own words and social media posts that you said. How did that storytelling change the ways this story unfolds for viewers?
I think it was really important to us to try and give Skyler a voice. We didn't want her to just be a kind of a plot point in a true crime, you know, where she's just the kind of victim and has no voice. We really wanted her to have agency in telling her own story, which is harder than it sounds, you know, obviously when she's gone. But she left behind this incredible sort of archive of tweets, of digital messages, but also her own writing as well. So we work very closely with her parents to make sure that we could just bring her voice kind of front and center, and that she could at least be a part of telling this story from the inside out. So we interview her friends as well, quite comprehensively, so that we can hear this story from the 16-year-old perspective, including Skyler herself.
And Dr. Albertini, you spent 24 years with the FBI. You've conducted thousands of polygraph exams. When you look at this case, what role did interviewing and behavioral analysis play in getting the truth?
Well, interviewing really played a significant role. And long before I became involved in the case, the two young girls, they were interviewed by case agents, state troopers, local police investigators. And during that process, you kind of started seeing this evolution of what really should be fact, right? You know, when things are fact, it doesn't change, right? The truth is the truth, and it's always going to be the truth. But there were indications during these interviews that really did result in kind of like this evolution of their story. And of course, when that happens, you know, the logical investigation is, why is this person changing that story, right? So this case is kind of about the behavior that's exhibited, the ideation, what's going on, what are they thinking, and how are they communicating? And that really speaks to the social media that you have here, which again was kind of in its infancy stage, if you will, compared to what it is now. So really, a lot of it did come down to the really significant interviews that the investigators were doing.
And one of the most unsettling aspects is how normal these friendships appeared on the surface. How does this case reveal about the hidden conflict, especially among teenagers?
I think I think what we really wanted to do with this series was kind of remind people what it's like to be 16. It's very easy to forget when you become an adult, you know, and put that behind you. But about the fact that when you are that age, your brain behaves in such a way that, you know, your friends become much more important than your parents, than your family. Everything is very heightened. Your reasoning is off, if you like. Your idea of consequences, you know, is very different to that of an adult. And when you have that combined with social media that is completely I say unregulated, but unwatched by anybody else, that's where the kind of combination was kind of so dangerous, really, I think, particularly for that generation who didn't have the hindsight that we have now.
And Claire, after someone watches all 3 episodes, what do you hope stays with them?
I hope people do reflect on their own use of sort of social media on their children, on their family as well, and remember what it's like to be that age. But also, I hope that they come away from this feeling like they know Skyler, and you know, she would have turned 30 just a few weeks ago. So that's a life that she didn't have. And she should have gone to college. She wanted to be a lawyer. You know, there's all this life that didn't happen. And I'd love for people to come away knowing and remembering Skyler as she was.
Hey, I want to thank you two for joining me today. Friends Like These, The Murder of Skyler Neese, with all 3 episodes available to stream now on Hulu. I want to thank you two for joining me today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
About 1 in 10 people will deal with a kidney stone at least in some point. And if you've ever had one, you know it's not minor. More than 500,000 ER visits each year are tied to this. Since it's National Kidney Month, we're looking at what causes them and what treatment looks like today. So joining us is Dr. Jared S. Whitaker, a New York City-based urologist, along with patient Crystal Jefferson. It's good to have you here. How are you two?
Doing well. Thanks for having us.
All right, for people out there who has never experienced one, what is actually happening in the body when someone develops a kidney stone, and what symptoms shouldn't they ignore?
Yeah, so the first thing to understand is that a kidney stone is an actual rock. It's a rock formed from the minerals that are typically dissolved in your urine. And while that stone is forming up in the kidney, you may not notice it until it moves and blocks the drainage of your kidney. And then you can have some pretty awful symptoms, things like severe pain in the flank, often described as the worst pain in the world. Yeah, we also see patients with blood in the urine, perhaps some severe nausea, vomiting, and at times fevers suggesting an underlying infection. But it is also important to note that we will at times incidentally detect kidney stones still up in the kidney before you have any symptoms. That may be caught on, say, a CAT scan or a sonogram, incidentally, which gives us opportunity to potentially treat them in advance. And as you said, 1 in 10 people in their lifetime are affected. So if you haven't had a stone, you probably know someone who has. And it's important to note that it affects people of all ages and genders.
So what are some of the current treatment options, and how does the CVAC system shift the experience for patients?
Sure. So, stones that are small enough to pass by themselves will often allow them to do so conservatively. But when a treatment is warranted, there are a number of really great minimally invasive options out there, such as breaking the stone up with sound waves or going in to break the stone with a laser. The challenge of these procedures is that they're designed to break up the stone and not necessarily extract it at that time. We rely on the body to kind of pass the little smaller pieces in dust. Unfortunately, many of these procedures will leave stone pieces behind, which they themselves can grow into bigger stones again and even cause those symptoms I mentioned. So where the CVAC system has really separated itself, it's this new technology. It's an all-in-one, minimally invasive option that we insert into the kidney to treat the stone. There's no incisions required. We're able to effectively break the stone into really small pieces and very, interestingly, suction out and vacuum out all of those pieces to render the kidney free of stone fragments, which could otherwise potentially cause those problems in the future. So it really has been a game changer in my personal practice and for my patients.
All right, Crystal, you have firsthand experience. Can you walk us through what living with kidney stones was like for you?
Yes, I'm happy to share my experience with you. In 2009, I did go to the emergency room for a kidney stone. I was vomiting. I was in excruciating pain. The kidney stone passed, but I kept developing kidney stones. So my back started to have a lot of discomfort, and I couldn't stand up for long periods of time. I could not drive for long periods of time. So I sought out a specialist, Dr. Winokur, and Dr. Winokur gave me all of my options. He was the first doctor to give me a credible option to deal with my kidney stones. The CVAC system was the option that I selected, and he said I was a good candidate for it, and post-procedure, that is accurate.
And after going through the treatment with the CVAC system, what stands out to you, and what do you want others to know?
I want others to know, first of all, don't be scared about seeking out new treatments, advanced treatments. And the procedure itself, when, as Dr. Winokur explained, it was outpatient. I did not have to be admitted to the hospital. I did have to take anesthesia. And post the procedure, I am able to stand on my feet for long periods of time. And I'm also able to take long drives.
All right, you two, where could our viewers go if they want more information or maybe learn more?
Yeah, obviously outside of speaking with a healthcare professional like a urologist, there's a wonderful website called surewithcvac.com, which has great information, not just on this new device and treatment, but kidney stone treatments in general. So we definitely encourage people to seek that out.
Crystal, I want to thank you for sharing your story today. And Dr. Winokur, thanks for giving us a little insight today.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And that is it for Rise Unwind. I want to thank you for tuning in and checking out the show. If you actually want to find out more about the show, go to our website. That's riseunwindtv.com. Follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, and also we're available on YouTube at Rise Unwind. If you missed the show, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. All that stuff that YouTubers say helps us out too. And until next week, that was the show we like to call Rise Unwind.